Now let's talk about the referrals section of ACE, and let's talk about how referrals are processed. Referring back to our workflow diagram, you may remember that it begins with pending referrals. There may be a number of employees who are involved in the intake process related to pending referrals. In this portion of the training, we're going to talk about keys to helping you work efficiently as a team. To make that happen, each person must contribute to the process, but the system helps to keep things organized and keeps you from stepping on other people's toes. Within the referral section of ACE, we have a total of 4 status types that are applicable to the referral process. A pending referral is a patient who has been referred to the practice. An inactive referral is a patient who has been referred to the practice but did not proceed any further in the process. A waitlist patient is a patient who desires to be seen by the practice but is awaiting availability of a clinician. An active patient-new is a patient that a therapist has recently accepted as a new patient. A referral record is divided up by tabs. The referral record will default by opening to the General tab. Use the tab key to navigate through individual fields. When entering information into the referral record, the only information that is needed to establish a referral record is a last name. However, please note that any fields with yellow highlighting are required fields. The user cannot change the status of pending referral to active patient-new until the yellow fields are complete. Enter the pending referral's last name and first name exactly as it appears on the insurance information. If a name is misspelled on the insurance card, enter the misspelled name into ACE until it is revised with the insurance company. Notes regarding a misspelled name should also be entered in the Patient Notes field. Middle name and nickname may be completed with information obtained from the general patient information and consent forms. Enter the pending referral's date of birth in the DOB field. If the date of birth for the patient is incorrect on the insurance information, the correct and actual date of birth should be used, since the implication of a child's age reach into the clinical portal of what is appropriate for the patient. Select the pending referral sex from the gender dropdown. Indicate the patient status as single, married, or other. Select employed, full-time student, or part-time student if applicable. Enter the pending referral's Social Security number into the SS number field. Next, choose the residence county and primary language from the drop-down menus. If the pending referral is under the age of 18 and under the care of a parent or legal guardian, indicate their names in the parent/guardian field. Indicate the relationship of the parent or the legal guardian. Enter the home phone, work phone, or cell phone of the pending referral or the pending referral's parent/guardian. If the patient indicates an alternate phone number that may be used, such as grandma's house, enter a brief explanation in the other field and then enter the number. Enter the email address of the pending referral or parent/guardian. If the patient is school-aged, enter the name of the school attended. If applicable, indicate if the patient's condition is related to employment, or if it's related to an auto accident, and if so, indicate the state. Additionally, you could select other accident and indicate the date of the occurrence. The status will default to pending referral. However, once the referral is ready to become an active patient, the user may choose the status type of Active Patient-New or Active DDS. If a user tries to change a status to Active Patient-New and all of the yellow fields that are required are not complete, the user will receive an error message for which field is missing data. The program will also navigate the user to the specific field that's empty. Next, indicate the protected health information status of the pending referral. If the patient has not authorized full permission according to the signed authorization and consent form, the user must indicate the PHI status as restricted. Restricted PHI status will display in red font. If PHI status is restricted, the user needs to provide details of the restriction in the patient notes section at the top of the referral record. There's no need to indicate that PHI is authorized in the patient notes field. Next, indicate the physical address of the pending referral, or parent/guardian. A physical address is a required field. Each patient must have a physical address where they live, even if it's a homeless shelter. When a 5-digit zip code is entered, the city and state should automatically populate. The user should always enter a zip +4 for a physical address and mailing address. If the user needs assistance determining the +4, the user should click the small search button with a magnifying glass. Once the user clicks the search button for the zip +4, the application will search through over 1 million records. Next, the zip +4 finder should appear and display all possible matches. Compare the rows of data carefully to find the zip +4 match. Once the user finds the match, the user should enter the zip4 and click the Save and Close button. The address will now populate with the zip +4. If no zip +4 appears, since new neighborhoods are always appearing, the user will need to utilize the United States Postal Service website to determine the zip +4. If the mailing address of the pending referral is the same as the physical address, the user may click the Move Physical Address to Mailing Address button. If the mailing address is different than the physical address, indicate the different address. Once the General tab is complete, it will probably look something like this. The next tab in the referral record is the Authorization tab. This tab indicates all of the information related to the authorization of services. If the pending referral has a CDSA authorization, the user will enter the receive date, begins date, ends date, and visits approved in the row for New CDSA Authorization. The Authorization tab may display physician order information, IFSP information, or IEP information. If a pending referral has previously been seen by the practice, any authorization information should be removed or deleted while the patient has a status of pending referral. The next tab in the referral record is the Evaluations tab. This tab indicates all of the evaluation types and dates for the pending referral. Only compliant other provider evaluation data should be entered into this tab. Generally, this tab will be blank for a pending referral. However, if a pending referral has a compliant other provider evaluation, the date and type should be entered on this tab prior to the pending referral status change. Expired evaluations should not be entered here. The next tab on the referral record is the Service Details tab. This tab indicates all possible place of service addresses and any existing diagnoses. Within the ACE application, there are 4 primary place of service types that we use. Home indicates any home where a patient receives care in a private residence. School is a facility whose primary purpose is education, a facility where a patient receives care at a K through 12 education site. This can be a charter school, public school, or private school. Other would indicate a daycare, preschool, pre-K, public library, community site, after-school program, etc. Office would be your provider office or clinic. These place of service types are important because they appear on the claim form. We do not want fraudulent claims. Remember, good data in equals good data out. Select the place of service type carefully. If a therapist enters a place of service, the administrative group will receive an alert. It's our job to check that entry carefully to ensure that the setup is completely correct. So, how do we set up a place of service address in ACE? Let's take a look. Within ACE, the physical address of the patient will automatically default as a possible place of service address for the patient. However, if the user desires to add a place of service address, the user should click the Add Service Location button. Once the Add Service Location button has been selected, an address form will appear. The user will need to indicate if this is the primary service location where the patient will be seen by selecting the checkbox if appropriate. The user will need to indicate the type of service location: home, school, office, or other, the legal name of the place of service or the owner of the home, the address location, the zip code, the zip +4, the county, and the place of service phone number. If the patient will receive services in a home, that type of place of service may be entered manually. If the service address is a type of school or other, and it does not appear in the drop-down list selection, the user will need to go to the Facilities section of the program, enter the new facility record, and then return to the referral record to select the newly added facility from the drop-down list. Once all information has been entered, the user may click the Save button to add the address to the list of place of service addresses. In order to modify an existing place of service address, the user should click on the address row. This action will cause the address form to appear, and modifications may be made and saved. If a pending referral has previously been seen by the practice, any diagnosis information should be removed or deleted while the patient has a status of pending referral. The clinical user will actually enter the diagnoses through their documentation process. The next tab in the referral record is the Funding Source tab. This tab indicates all of the information related to the payment of services for this patient. Begin by choosing a funding source from the drop-down menu. Funding source types are listed in the order in which they pay. A funding source of Medicaid/CDSA indicates that Medicaid pays first and the CDSA pays second. However, a funding source of CDSA/Medicaid indicates that Medicaid is inactive and therefore CDSA pays first. Once a funding source is selected, the appropriate portions of the tab will allow for data entry. Any fields that do not apply will be disabled automatically. Funding source selections will also update the referral checklist that appears on this tab. Enter all payment information for each individual funding source. In order to enter private insurance information, click the Additional Primary Insurance Information button. Next, the user will enter all information for the insurance company and policyholder. If an insurance company does not appear on the drop-down menu, click the plus button to add it to the list. Use the bottom portion of the form to verify private insurance benefits. When all private insurance verification information is complete, the user may preview the document by clicking the Preview button at the top of the window. When the information is complete, the user may click the Complete button at the top of the window. Once the user clicks the Complete button, a copy of the document will be saved to the EMR and the form will be locked. Once insurance information has been verified, it may not be changed unless the user selects the Update button. Once a record is updated, the user will need to click the Complete button to send the updated insurance information to the EMR and to lock the form again. Once a funding source is selected, the referral checklist on the right side of the screen will adjust to reflect all the information required before services can be provided to this patient. Once an item on the referral checklist is obtained, a user must check the item as on file. If an item is not applicable in this particular situation, the user may select NA. The next tab in the referral record is the Physician tab. This tab indicates all information related to the patient's physician and the physician writing the order for treatment. Begin by choosing a practice, which will then allow the user to select from a filtered list of physicians. If the user does not see the physician listed, enter the physician by clicking the Physicians button on the main menu and entering the new physician. Once the physician is entered, indicate if this is the treating physician of the patient by checking the appropriate box or by leaving it blank. Physicians indicated as the treating physician for the patient will automatically be faxed patient evaluations and discharge summaries. Information regarding the physician will auto-populate the fields under the physician's name. Since some physicians work at multiple practices, ensure that the correct physician that is associated with the correct practice is selected. The user will then need to determine the physician or practice that will receive the physician order. The physician or practice may be selected from the drop-down menus. In most circumstances, since the user does not know the specific physician that will be available to sign the order from the practice, it may be best to leave the physician name blank and simply send the order to the practice. Once the signed order is returned, the physician name on the order may be added to the ACE application. When preparing the physician order, the user should enter the date the order is being requested. The user should utilize the Comments field for any comments they desire to include on the request. In order to send a physician order for initial therapy, the user should click the Physician Order for Initial Therapy with Practice Eval button. This button will create a physician order with wording that is appropriate for this type of referral. If we have an acceptable evaluation from another provider on file in the EMR, the user may enter the New Order Requested Date and then click the button Physician Order for Initial Therapy with Other Provider Eval. Any comments added to the new order section will appear on the request for the physician order. Once either of these physician order buttons are clicked, the physician order document will automatically calculate to be effective 7 days from the date it was requested. However, the new order effective date may be manually entered to override the calculation. Next, the user will see a form that allows for 3 options. The user should begin by print previewing the physician order so that they can ensure that it is accurate. The print preview option will allow the user to preview the document or print the document to paper by right-clicking on the document and selecting Print from the menu. If a physician order document appears correct, the user has two options for electronically faxing the document. The first option automatically faxes the order to the physician selected to receive the order. The other option, to send order to alternate, allows the user to fax the physician order to an alternate fax number. Once a physician order document has been signed by the physician and returned, the user is responsible for entering the new order signed, received, new order effective, and expires date. All dates should be entered. The application will automatically calculate the expires date to 6 months after the new order effective date. However, the user may modify the date as needed. The next tab in the referral record is the Encounter Notes tab. This indicates all encounters that have related to the patient. This includes email correspondence, phone calls, faxes, etc. All users are required to enter encounter notes whenever they have contact with or regarding the patient. In order to enter a note, click the Add Record button. The user will enter the date, contact, and comments. Entered by will automatically populate with the user's name. In order to edit a note, double-click the Comments field. Edit the note in the pop-up box that appears and click Save. The note will indicate last edited by based upon the login information. The next tab in the referral record is the Referral and Placement tab. This tab indicates all the information related to how the referral was received and with whom the services will take place. Begin by choosing the referral source type from the drop-down menu. Enter the specific referral source. This may be a drop-down menu or an open text field depending on the referral source type that was chosen. Enter any remaining referral source information, including referral date, referral method, deadline date, evaluation source, etc. When searching for a therapist to treat this patient, click the Therapist Suggestion button. The program will indicate all the therapists that meet the criteria for the pending referral, including therapists that serve a particular zip code, service a particular CDSA, or speak a particular language. The bottom of the screen will indicate any therapist that matches all three categories. Once a user has determined an appropriate therapist, choose the name from the Primary Therapist drop-down box or begin typing the therapist's first name. The Date Assigned field will automatically populate with the current date when the patient transitions from a pending referral to an active patient-new. Once a therapist has been selected, the ACE application will ask the user if the place of service zip code should be added to the treating therapist list of zip codes being served. Generally, the user would select yes to these questions. A secondary therapist may also be assigned to view EMR records for the select patient. The field Notes for Therapist should indicate information that a therapist will need to know that is not contained in any specific field of the program. For example, a user might indicate that the patient prefers to be seen on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. The field for Referral Specialist will pre-fill with the user that has set up the new record. The referral specialist may be changed manually or updated at any time. Generally, the referral specialist assigned to the patient is the person who will handle the referral until they become an active patient-new. Other reports in ACE will allow the company to see how many referrals were processed by each referral specialist during a given date range. The next tab in the referral record is the EMR tab. This tab indicates all electronic medical records for the specific pending referral. This could include evaluations from other providers, consent forms, IFSP documents, etc. Documents should be indexed into the EMR as soon as possible once they are received for a pending referral. To search for a record in a patient-specific EMR, the user should click the Search to view all records, or the user may enter the index values desired and click Search. Search results in the EMR will display like this. The user should determine how search results should be sorted to be most useful, and then click the Sort button. The user will also need to determine what type of viewer they prefer to view the EMR documents. The Adobe viewer will open a selected EMR document in a temporary Adobe viewer. This will allow the user to keep the EMR documents open while still using other portions of the ACE application. The ACE viewer will open the document quickly within the ACE application. However, the user will not be able to navigate to other portions of the application while the documents are open. The user may perform different tasks while viewing search results. To perform a task, click the checkbox to click one or multiple documents. Review this list of EMR buttons to determine what you need to do. Returning to the referral record, we can see that the user can clear the index values that were previously searched by clicking the Reset Search Criteria button. To index a new record from the patient-specific EMR, click the Index New Record button. To locate the file that needs to be indexed, click the Browse button and find where the file is saved. If your company is utilizing file naming conventions, use the file name to begin entering index values. When entering index values, the user may choose to click the Sticky checkbox. Sticky causes the index values to remain in place after the document is indexed into the EMR. This feature may be helpful when indexing multiple documents that have the same document type and document date. Once index values have been entered, click the Save EMR button. Once all referral information has been obtained, the patient setup report may be accessed on the General tab by clicking the corresponding button. This report may be helpful should the referral specialist need to print a report of the referral information or to review all referral information for accuracy. Let's take a look at the report. Here we can see that this report simply helps the referral specialist review their work for accuracy. And as we recall, accuracy is really important. Good data in equals good data out. Any misspellings or inaccuracies need to be corrected immediately. Once a referral specialist is ready to send the referral to the therapist, they will click the button for New Patient Instructions on the General tab. This action will cause a message box to appear. The referral specialist should edit and modify the instructions appropriately and then click the Send Message button. A copy of these instructions will automatically be filed in the patient's EMR should they need to be referred to at a later date. The clinician will receive an inbox message, an alert, notifying them that they have been assigned a new patient. Finally, the user should change the status from pending referral to active patient-new. This patient will no longer appear in the referral section of ACE, but instead will be in the patient section of ACE. Within all areas of ACE, you'll find a button to access reports, and the referral section is no different. To access referral reports, return to the Referral section search form and click the button for Referral Reports. In whatever section you're accessing reports, the pattern is always the same, left to right, top to bottom. Choose the report, choose the therapist, indicate a date range if required, and click the Run Report button. We'll talk more about some of the fantastic reporting capabilities that are available later on. When a report is generated in ACE, it will look like this. Use the right click to see all of your options, such as print, save as, etc. Use the small triangle buttons on the bottom left of the screen to change pages, and use the X button to close the report. There are two specific referral reports that I think are worth highlighting because they're pretty spectacular. The first one is a referral source wait time report. This report looks at all referrals that came in within a date range and then calculates the number of days between the evaluation and the first treatment. We're going to see some skewed numbers if a patient stopped and then resumed treatment, such as being re-referred, but they still may have a current evaluation. Or we may see skewed numbers if the patient has an evaluation that was done by another provider before the referral. The end of this report also gives a breakdown of how many days of wait there are for evaluation and treatment by funding source. The second referral report that's of interest is a referral source type graph. So what ACE does is it looks at all of the referrals received during a date range. In this example, we're looking at the calendar year of 2017. And then ACE determines what the referral source type was. The way the program actually creates this graph is by pulling the data out of ACE and having it automatically populate an Excel document. So based on this report, I can see that we received 1,365 referrals in 2017. 24% were from the CDSA, 22% were DDS patients, 18% were referred by their physician, etc. This concludes the instructions related to referrals in the administrative portal of ACE. For further information, feel free to watch the video again and pause as necessary. Additionally, you may consult the written Administrative ACE Manual for detailed instructions and screenshots related to specific features and tasks.